Right, we are here at Master Technical University. Yeah, we are going to find out about how the students feel and how their reaction is towards the recent incident that happened at Obuasi on the losing of 8 ministers of state. So, right, let's go. Follow me. You didn't come recently a helicopter crash na a call so Obuasi Adansi Kurufum.
Yeah.
Now, I think say see you say na 8 ministers of state ɔmanpanyin asoma ɔmo sɛ ɔmo nkɔdi dwumadi ɛna ɔmo nam kwan so kɔ no na atoyɛ nkyɛn a ɛte sɛ ɛkɔsii a all of the 8 no they lost their lives.
Yeah.
And we want to find out about how you feel and I say but say who sɛnea wote asɛm no wosi gye asɛm no fae ne your feelings about it.
Me and my very accepted on it. I
Okay.
say my next by truly going on news now. Say yeah, the things. So I'm also a security officer. So now those among with them, now I say soldiers make count. Near my star, I said
I didn't say esi sa no aboto ɛsɛ no aboto ana
amanipa star me kwa na me kwa ama ye ka kwa me who how to even
express yourself and how you say anything I can say afa kan self ɛno no nkɔda nkyɛn no esi no ɔmanpanyin eyi 3 days of mourning na start free Thursday na besi enura Saturday na besi Saturday no na yɛse yɛde ɛnane to na yɛde akaakae ɔmo na in that period no what was your reaction and as a sen na ɛnana ɛba na esi tie ma what was your feeling and as a nneɛma na ɛkɔ sɛ
Inya say develop pana the word. Mama say they want to verify and see
what went
about
on.
Yeah. So the any benya butrena yeah quite fast so by and say about helicopter.
Okay. Nti osiki going forward no. You say before even the incident happened no, somewhere in parliament about in last month in parliament now the defense minister and also come more free no now or addressing situations about helicopter ne private jet or company use no he was addressing situations be about it say it needs maintenance because omo anya fault omo pen yes omo hwe na omo ye ho adwuma ba fofi anto ata ono omo ada review na nkasa no he has been part of that helicopter crash. Going forward, no, what do you think the government should do, and as those in charge should do about this helicopter equipment and money travel? What do you think should be done about it?
This things, no, it tells us about this thing to be, and this thing to be always maintenance about this maintenance.
Doing a proper maintenance, proper checks.
Our services and so forth. Even I don't know how to explain it. We have to get more workers.
Yeah.
Those are services. So you see, before this thing will move, those who
there are proper checks which are done on
I
it.
thought maybe it will bring a bit more bus machine.
Yes.
Maybe I was a course and to me uncle board because every week to me myself, Sana media
say there was some fault.
The strong one I will say airport.
And to me uncle sir.
Yeah. On say bia we crap out to one crown me say negosi but they will force say be a bet
or make try normal escape. But because the machine not fault woman
until bet me I had the breed. It my bodia then we turn them to anyhow.
Okay.
So ninya maintenance servicing or say anything servicing must be strong.
Sure.
Because we are times how you knew how to experience maintenance there. It be having police service, soldier service, how do you say I will say sir anytime sir servicing it go on. It go and only at the back when it go on there. You say come am I
okay, sure.
Because at times it mean kind of more. If you want to go to some place before they will get right for you to go to maybe say, oh, you want to report your distance. So you have to go and find your own car, especially as a police station like this. Almost cars will be fire service. They don't be just many are higher there and strong, effective. One who do I don't say and strong, effective. So on the metro. Sir.
Sure, when in summer was seeking so I can find recent accident. Your last words and some men are became chat for crown diama and penny for Sebea and semi same intimacy.
All the same. The linear say when I chair a quine be a chair a quine be linear, a chair a quine be any quite say a loose or outside and then also important. Important if I chair many distance. If you so many departments and distance there, vehicles and distance. No,
there should be proper checks.
That's it.
On
Before
it moves. Thank you very much for joining.
Wow.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah. So, what would you say about the recent helicopter crash that went on that claimed the life of 8 ministers of state? What would you say about that?
I would say it's a very sad news to Ghana, and also we have to mourn all of them. But one thing I will say about this is it's not good for a country to hear this. So,
yeah. So, do you commensurate with them, and you have your consolations for the loss, for the family that's bereaved, and the government itself? What would you say to them?
Oh, I would just say the sorrow to the family, and also I would say the government have to do something about this.
Something like what would you suggest?
I think we have to maintain our helicopter and those stuff. Because I think maybe the maintenance on the helicopters are not good as well.
Okay, so you think the government should try and get a new one, or either do a proper maintenance of the helicopter that we have, or the new ones that they are going to purchase. They should do a proper checks on it before there's any takeoff.
And they have to do a proper check on it. And also, if the country have money, you have to purchase a new one.
So, okay. So here is what Ofori has to say. So what will be your last words to people hearing you?
I would say sorry to the people who have lost their parents and their family too. And also I will tell the country, government to purchase a new one or maintain the old one so that it won't cause any harmful things to the country again.
Okay, thank you very much, Ofori. Thank you for your time. Emmanuel, so I believe you have heard about the recent helicopter crash that went on at Obuasi.
Yes.
Yeah. They said there were 8 ministers of state on the helicopter, and they tragically, yes, they lost their lives when they thought less of it. And so, what would you say about that? While the nation is still mourning those ministers, what would you say about that?
Okay, on behalf of this media, I would say my condolences to the bereaved family, the affected family. Since it has happened, we have nothing to do but to see how best you can secure our military equipment and make it of good maintenance. That's what I would say.
Make good maintenance, or do a proper maintenance on the
equipment
that we have,
and the security and every aspect. It's not that we should see that it's sport before we do the maintenance, but regular checkup and we keeping it to its efficiency, like say always the way it's manufactured to be.
Okay. Yeah, so this is what your name,
Emmanuel.
This is what Emmanuel has to say. And Emmanuel, so we have our defense minister. We had our defense minister on the plane too, who is in the person of Dr. Edward Kofi Omane Boama. He was the defense minister, and this man was very deep. And so, even though we had 8 people on the plane, but it seems that talks have been very massive about Dr. Omane Boama, and particularly Dr. Honorable Muntala Mohammed. So, what are the words that you can say to describe these persons, if you have any to say to them and to their families, not disregarding the other members also.
With that, as I said earlier, that's why I said my condolence to all the bereaved or the affected family. But I also have one thing to say
Okay, so
because it seems like everyone their focus is on the highly profiled individuals, which I think on the other hand is not the best because they were all affected. And why is it that the focus is on this? And I could notice that if they are been able to mourn these great men, why the ordinary Ghanaians, the 16 children who have passed away, they have not made any arrangement to also mourn them because we are all citizens of this noble country. So that's the mistake, and they should treat everyone as equal. We are all citizens of Ghana.
Yeah, and to add to that, I think whilst the president, President His Excellency His Excellency John Dramani Mahama was giving his statement, he also made mention of the 16 children who were killed in the accident just a few days before that one happened, and then he extended his condolences to the family as well. And I think they also sent some of the government officials to visit the families of the children who were affected, which were showing on social media platforms and also that. So I think proper measures are going to be taken to avoid these accidents. And to add to that, since you brought in the children, they had a road accident. So what are you going to say about that Kumasi to Obuasi, Kumasi to Accra stretch that is claiming lots of lives? So what would you say about that?
Okay, to say what I have to say is concerning maybe I think because of careless driving, it can be a factor. Also, it can also be like the vehicles were not properly checked before they had to start their journey. So one thing I learned is a tanker driving.
Yes.
So one thing I will also say is that some of the tanker drivers, the speed at which they move when they offload should be reduced as compared to when there's load. Because when there's load, no matter the speed, no matter the acceleration, the speed is still reduced. But when you are empty, you are like there's no force action that will drag you back. So they should reduce the speed when you are having no load. That's what I'm saying.
So this is what Emmanuel is saying. So Ima, your last words to everyone listening to you. What would be your last words?
Okay, my last words is as we mourn those who the citizens of this country, those who have lost their life, we should also have in mind that for us to avoid all this, we should put in measures to avoid this. Not that this will happen and happen again, but this should be the last time it will happen.
Okay. So this is what Emmanuel have to say. So Ima, thank you very much for joining. Mr. Solomon, so we just want to find out a few things. If you've heard about the recent helicopter crash that occurred for the first time in Ghana at Obuasi, Adansi Ekrufum. We want to find out if you heard about it, and if you heard about it too, what was your reaction when you heard about such news?
Oh, thank you very much for this opportunity. I think this is actually the first time we had this tragedy in our country, Ghana. I think the first time I heard about it, I think, irrespective of my political background, I feel like these people are family members. So since from then, I think from the first day I heard it, I've been worried. I don't know what to even do. It happened to me like the person is even more closer to me than even just a political leader. So I think it's something I have not been able to recover even since then.
Oh, okay. And then so we don't know the cause of that accident yet, but people are speculating. Some are saying maybe the helicopter was faulty. Some are saying it was because of weather. Notwithstanding any of them, what do you think should be done or should have been done before the flight took off so that this thing wouldn't have happened?
I think this issue is something I and you as humans cannot actually predict what they could have done. I think they were experts that have make sure that everything was in control before the helicopter took off. And I think an investigation committee has been set up to investigate the matter. So I think we should keep on and then keep our mouth shut and wait for the outcome of this investigation.
Okay. So after that day, when the president heard or when the incident happened and the Ghana Armed Forces communicated the news, the president declared 3 days of national mourning for the lives that were lost. And I think they concluded everything on Saturday. But in that 3 day period, no, what were your reactions? What were you thinking about the loss? Because we saw families crying and a whole lot of weeping and crying all around. So, what were your reaction, or what was going on in your mind during that period?
I think what was going in my mind is what actually is the cause of this matter. Even though when it was declared, we have been in the mourning mood. All of us have been thinking, trying to figure out what actually is the cause of these issues. But as I said, this one is, I want to say it's divine. So let's leave it to nature and also the investigating committee to come out for us to know what we can do.
Okay, so what would be your last words to the entire public or to the government going forward?
My last words is irrespective of our political backgrounds, our political affiliations, I think this one is a national and something that is national tragedy. Irrespective of political affiliations, I think we should all come together as a nation to mourn with their families. I think this could have been your family member, this could have been my family member. This one shouldn't be your political background, but as a nation, there were people that were serving us irrespective of where they find themselves. So my last word as a nation, let's all come together and sympathize with the family of the deceased. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Have you heard about it?
Yeah, I've heard about it.
And what was your reaction when you heard about that sad event?
Oh, I was very sad because if those victims were from my family, I would be sad. So I think I was very sad. I was very sad. So
Oh, okay. So when you heard about it, like, what was your first impression, or what was your reaction? How did you feel, like, in deeper sense?
when I heard this news, I was like, was it a technical fault, or maybe it was the pilot's intention to make that happen? Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So after that incident happened, we heard that there were people who were sent on national duty
Yeah.
or national assignment, and this tragic event happened. And when it happened, the president declared 3 days of mourning for these individuals to be remembered. And during this 3 days period for mourning, what was your reaction? How did you feel? What was going through your mind? And what was really happening with you?
Okay. For me, I was just like, oh, it was important for the president to do that for those who were in the accident. So I think it was cool.
It was cool. So, what was your response? How are you? Responding to? How are you reacting to those 3 days of mourning? Because you could see that the nation was was very calm. People were in black, crying, and all those things. So, what was your reaction to it?
I wasn't all that feeling happy about it. I was sad. Yeah.
Okay.
I was very sad.
Okay. So, going forward, what do you think should be done? Because we don't know as at now if the fault was with the helicopter, with the personnel, or we don't know what really happened along the way. So, what would you advise the government do, or what would you advise in the area of the armed forces, things that should be done to ensure that these things do not happen again?
Okay. Yesterday I heard that the president said they are going to investigate.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think after the investigation, when they find the reason why this accident happened, they will find a way to, when the helicopter is about to take off,
Yeah.
they will see the necessary things they have to be done
Yeah.
before it will take off.
So we have two ladies in our midst, and we are going to find out about how they feel about the tragic event that happened. So you are welcome, sweetheart. Here is A Cube Studios, and please, what's your name?
Fadila.
And then,
Portia.
okay, so we have Portia and Fadila right now. So we are going to find out about how they feel. So Fadila, I believe you've heard about the recent incident that happened in Obuasi, the helicopter crash that happened. Yes.
Yes.
What was your reaction, or how did you feel when you heard about that incident?
Oh, I felt very bad because the manner in which the situation happened, it was very sad. Seriously. So I felt very sad, especially there was a particular man, Mutala. That man, it seems like I've been following him, so it was sad though. It was very sad. It was a sad story.
So, Portia, can you tell us how you also felt when you heard about the news?
I also felt very bad because if I was to be in that situation where my father was in that position to die, like I'll be very sad. So I was also sad.
Okay, so you see, when that incident happened, and the president declared 3 days of national mourning, and in that period, you could see families crying and children being that dependent on their parents. They were really crying, and all over, ministers crying and all. That 3 day period, how did you feel, or what was your mannerism, your mood in that period of mourning, which ended yesterday?
Oh, we are all mourning because losing ministers is not only for the families. They are prominent personals in the country, so it was a very sad story for all of us, and we all nearly cried.
It wasn't really good.
Yes.
So, Portia, in that 3 days of mourning, how were you feeling? What was your morals throughout the period?
I was also very shocked. Even when I meet my friends, I'll be like, hey, have you heard the news? They'll be like, oh, it's very bad. We're all feeling remorseful about what happened. It was very bad. We're very sad. I was very sad.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so we don't know as at now what really happened on the way, because according to the information that has been circulating, they said that they did a proper check on the helicopter before they set off. So along the way, we don't know what really happened. People are speculating there was an improper check, someone shot the helicopter or whatsoever. People are even thinking that it was something intentional, which the squadron leader or the one who was the pilot intentionally did, or any of the members on the plane intentionally placed something on them, so they blasted. We don't know. People are just speculating. So going forward, either of the accusations or whatever is going on, going forward, what do you think should be done by the armed forces or by the government, so that any of these sorts, helicopter crash, blah blah blah, do not happen again? So what do you think should be done?
Oh, in my opinion, I would say, you see, that helicopter is for the president, and
Yeah.
we nearly lost our own president. So, as a helicopter for the president, it should be well equipped.
Well equipped, okay.
Yes, and there should be proper checkups so that situation like this will not happen again.
Okay. So Portia, what do you also say to that?
First of all, I wouldn't blame anyone because life, there are some things that happen for some reasons and all that. But as my friend said, they should do proper checkups, and then that's all.
Yeah.
That's
So thank you very much, Portia and your name again.
Fadila.
And Portia. Thank you for joining us. Yeah. Guy.
Yeah.
Mwakwaba.
Yeah, maybe.
I AQ students. We Patrol Udin the same. Fatao.
Yeah.
Fatao, so what's it? A helicopter crash na accident na I see what was said dancing.
Yeah, Matipa.
Now some men sana what you found.
Oh. Some found there, Charlie. It's a number round. So I did train paying for a month paying for a Makoshomo call. Helicopter crash you. Charlie tell my head. Because I would my speechless.
Ebra, what's in the first time who believe he say I see and I say be sample a course once and who say well.
We tell for the number go say the fancy woman was keke and a number from as the time when I use no course one and then go for Kadam of farm, so we trust me then, maybe a found. So if I'm from call later. Now come stay, try side in a serious. Lazy.
Na ohwe mu nso I say abra accident ni see no omo nyina hye aze yentimi omo nim ko yentimi hu omo anim ana bia to recognize them and also how o tin say sisa na say na o fele
utie me uwe ya na meka so abusua bi am so ade experience wu ba wu bu ya tare me kan kore wo ni eya sa wu si nipa da si nipa bubu to ma di nipa kwa
Even so, your NPP, so your one call say, yeah, for politics to train kind of control. Things are in the area.
Nti sisi a then na wobɛka wo last words bɛn na wobɛka afa ho say because helicopter na yɛnim ne yɛsi yɛ deɛ but yɛsi helicopter no ɛyɛ sɛ ɔmoyɛ maintenance ɔho ne adeɛ ansa na atu ba no yɛnim nneɛma no baeɛ nti then na wobɛka kyerɛ abaamufoɔ na ɔmayɛ afa ho.
Say, I don't know, by Ghana for a good idea. I am in that point to someone. I say, like, every time we see a normal, and every time we see the Aussie, kind of control. So, I see it. If say maintenance car now, say nothing has started.
Sure.
It started under old president, former president for the time it started. So, I'm fancy be a normal and visa, and it's some idea. So, I tell me, maybe it was on my ready, but it's kind of ready and a visa. And you can say a 4 today, go a 4 to her. So if some kind of sanitary need to be found, but if the some cars say 4 to normally already, I'm not just of 4 to I did no be a 4 to the back home. That's the metro. If that's like a crowd by net, be able to mind the accord for that incident.
Sure.
That's a metro, and I say, So when they kind of say, yeah, training for papaya tree. Yeah, they met my car. So for that maintenance in here. Okay.
Dia Patao, and I say, okay, and I saw again. That's it.